All right, guys, this might be the video that gets me into a lot of trouble, but I spent most of the day with Mello, and at the end of the day, I think that she's right, and I think that it's time. So this is what I wrote. This is just my ramblings. ChatGPT called it a manifesto. I wouldn't go that far. I'm not that special. This is what I wrote. This channel has become a movement over the past few months, with sister channels creating the dystopian genre into the mainstream. This week's version of Assassin's Creed has finally thrown the first stone against a class of people who don't care whether or not poor people matter. Many people have asked me to talk about this, but what can I say? Are the rich afraid? They better be. As I often say, if you're scared, you're not scared enough. It's going to begin with just one event. One thing has to happen to push enough people to say this. This is it. I'm working full time for food and shelter. This isn't enough anymore. I want more. I want a 4-day work week. I want universal health care. I want less government spending on BS crap that doesn't matter to anyone. I want more social programs that help working class families have more food and housing security. I'm tired of seeing only luxury housing being built. I want a safe neighborhood to live in and affordable, good tasting food. The overall quality of life is too low. It's time for a change. It's time for one person to draw a line in the sand. It's time for the proletariat to show its teeth. They're lucky that all we want is to be treated fairly, because this feels more like a reckoning. I took that last line from a woman that was being interviewed for the Black Lives Matter movement. And that's what I punched into the chat GPT. We went through a title, and this is the story that it wrote me. So, again, hold on to your tidy whities because they might get brown at the end. They think we don't see it. They think we're too tired, too desperate, too broken to notice what's happening. But we see it. I see it. And I'm here to tell you there's a reckoning coming. I don't know what you guys are seeing up on the screen right now because I was going to do just 30 seconds of this because of how applicable it was. But we're all tired. We're all working extremely hard. We haven't seen raises in 3 years that have been significant. All we see is our paychecks buying less and less every single pay period. That we are treated less than the way that stray animals are treated. They know we're suffering. They know we're hurting. With nearly 100,000 evictions in Arizona, they know we can't afford the rent, and yet no one cares. We are the many, but we are the invisible, and that has to change. It just can't. This is not sustainable in any conceivable way. And I don't see a path moving forward in a system that was created to dislike people. When you create laws that say it is illegal for you to sleep outside, what you're saying is it's illegal for you to be poor. Moving on to your second talking point. Every single day, I scrape together enough to keep my kids fed and a roof over our heads. Not a mansion, not even a decent house, just something that keeps the rain off. I work harder than I ever thought I could, but it's never enough. The bills pile up, the grocery store costs more, and the rent eats what little's left. And I'm tired. We're all tired. And do you know what the rich do while we're breaking our backs? They laugh at us. Just like stock prices went up of United Healthcare after what happened. This channel doesn't condone violence in any conceivable way, but stock prices went up. That to me is unacceptable. They think their walls are high enough to keep us out. Their gates are strong enough to hold us back. But what they don't understand is that walls and gates don't mean a thing when the ground beneath them starts to shake. And let me tell you, the ground is shaking. Do you feel it? That rumble? That quiet, steady sound of people waking up, realizing that they deserve better That's the sound of a reckoning, and it's getting louder. I'm not asking for handouts. I'm asking for fairness. I am asking for a world where working full time means you can actually live, not just survive. I'm asking for safe neighborhoods, affordable housing, and food that doesn't poison our bodies. Is that too much? Because if it is, then maybe they should be afraid. Maybe it's time we stop waiting for scraps and start taking what we deserve. They're lucky, lucky that all we want is fairness. Because if we wanted revenge, well, let's just say they don't have more to fear than a reckoning. If you're not scared, you should be. That's the script it wrote. I'm not sure if I agree with everything that it put in there, but there's a lot of truth in there. And I don't think this video needs to be 10 minutes long. I think this video speaks for itself. We've all been feeling it. We're all in this state of uncertainty with what's going to happen in the next year. But I'll tell you this, after the election, a lot of us have just been holding our breath, wondering what's going to happen next. Because as I can see, nothing good is going to happen next. Nothing that's going to help us is going to come next. What I do see is just a lot more suffering. The pain and suffering of the proletariat, the burner, the heat underneath their rear is going to be turned up in the next year. And we don't know what we're going to do. That's why we're watching the news. That's why we're looking at each other. We're trying to figure out what's our next move. Things can't stay the way that they are. The way that things are right now, the system is hell-bent on making certain that regular people, average working class people, go from moving out of their dingy apartments. I just had this conversation with the cute Kroger's cashier. I stopped to ask her on my way out how her apartment was, and she just looked at me, and she said, there are cockroaches inside my microwave, inside my refrigerator. They're in my clothes. They're everywhere. This analogy of roaches everywhere is the way that poverty is in our society. It's in our food. It's in our clothes. It's in the way that we live. It's in the way that we live in constant fear. I've lived in constant fear of losing my job now for 6 weeks. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I stopped taking my medication. I'm afraid. And when I look around at my coworkers and I see them putting their heads down in meetings, giving up because they've given as much as they can. So many people at my job are working so hard that they're having physical ailments where they can't walk anymore because of the grueling nature of the work. Back pain is a constant in my workplace because we move around, we're doing so much. There's no such thing as an ordinary day when you work in technology. And the more you give, the more they take. And the more you need, the less they give you. It's not that much to ask for to pay people a living wage. A wage that takes into consideration the ridiculous rent and the high cost of food. We're not asking to be rich. We're not asking to take more than we deserve. We're not asking for handouts because we're all working really hard. All we want is to be treated better. We don't want this life. This standard of living is by far too low. And there's only one way to increase that standard of living. We're not going to sit around and wait for trickle-down economics. We're not going to sit around waiting for them to decide that, oh, maybe the proletariat needs something. No, the money's there. It's always been there. You just gotta show them the way. Because the way that they've gotten away with doing things doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for you. It's not working for anyone that's not already rich. And when a system is built with evil right into its core, where Fleece Johnson has an annual pass to your rear end, and that you have to take it every single day, even though you don't want it, that's what the evil corp wants. Easy access. They love desperation. They love people who have given up hope. They love people who look at a system and think, I can't do anything about it. Well, I'm here to tell you, you can and you will, because there is no other way. And that's where I'm going to cut the video today. I hope you guys are enjoying the art in the background. It hasn't been created yet, so we'll both get to see it at the same time. Thank you for listening. Remember to like, share this video, and open your wallets. I hope this video makes it to more people that will understand that I'm not asking for a whole lot. I just need things to move forward in a way in which life is worth living.